What's good, everybody? It's your boy Big Nate. Welcome to Big Nate's Book Reviews, home of the best book reviews. And today, against my better judgment and will, we have another book haul. So I got my doobie right here. It's ready to be sparked. And today we are smoking this for the book buying ban that I've allegedly been on for like 5 book hauls by now. So if you got your doobie at home, go ahead and spark that. And today we are smoking this for my book buying ban, which is clearly no longer and really has never been in effect. Without further ado, let's get into the book haul. So up first, we have The Book of Imaginary Beings by Jorge Luis Borges. And you'll notice this cover is fire. What do you know? It's by Penguin. No surprise there, but I dare say, I really don't know, but for some reason this strikes me as being a rare book. Let me know in the comments, but I found this with my sister when we were in New Orleans, and it was just in this little bookstore on like some neighborhood, and it was super dope. And I was just looking and I was just like, bro, I'm like big into mythology right now. Everybody knows I'm a big Borges fan, and this is like a combination of both of those things. And in this, whoa, wait, hold up, Harold Bloom. Of all Latin American authors in this century, Borges is the most universal. Facts. If you read Borges frequently and closely, you become something of a Borgesian, which I am to the full. Bro, if Borges was alive, I would literally drop everything and follow him like a disciple to Christ, and I'm not even joking. Because to read him is to activate an awareness of literature in which he has gone further than anyone else. Dang, that's fire. And that's from Harold Bloom, and that motherfucker reads. Wow, that's actually really intriguing to me. But this is where you get I don't even know if it's famous, but I mean, I'm very familiar with it at this point. But this line by Borges, which something about the dragon being like a necessary creature, and a necessary creature in the sense that I feel like where it's like dragons and serpents are one of those things, because like I said, I've been on my myth kick. It's just one of those animals, spirits, figures that emerges across all these different, independently across all these different cultures, across time and geography and all of that. Necessary. It really does make one wonder. It really does make one wonder if it was bound to emerge in the first place. But anyway, so that's the Book of Imaginary Beings. So I think it just goes through. Okay, yeah, just looking at this, it's like hella imaginary beings, each get like a page or two. That's usually how like the myth books that I've been reading are structured too, because that's what I really like about myths, is there's actually so much contained in them, and that shit'll be like 2 pages. And you know what, while we're talking about myths, let me skip. Actually, nah, that's way at the bottom. That'll fuck my whole pile up. We can't do that. We can't fuck up the whole pile, so stand by if you're interested. But up next we got On Writing by Jorge Luis Borges. Who would have seen it coming? But look at him. He looks funny, bro. I bet he was awkward and shy in like high school. But yeah, I don't know. Shit, I don't even really need to speak on this one, bro. It's Borges, first off. So everything I just said, it still applies. Get to my podcast, by the way, where we discuss multiple Borges stories. But it's On Writing. Borges is such a good writer to me. Obviously, I write. That's like what I fucking dropped out to do. Well, spoiler. Spoiler. But now that I've said it, I really shouldn't be buying books. Let me tell you that. I really shouldn't be buying books. I got an announcement in the next video or two, but anyway, writing has been very important to me recently, and it's Borges On Writing, so I don't really, that one's self-explanatory, self-evident, and clear in and of itself. So okay, dope. I got that one in New Orleans too. I got that one at this Faulkner bookstore. It was like a place that Faulkner boarded at when he lived in New Orleans, and that's where he wrote a lot of his early novels, and they turned it into a bookstore. So, and it was pretty dope. It was like small, but like actually had like a very good selection actually. So they was making use of that space for sure. And it's Faulkner. I mean, yeah, whatever. It's cool, but up next, we got this big ass brick of a motherfucker. It's crazy that I've really been calling this Les Miserables all my life, but I'm assuming it's Les Miserables. Les Miserables. by Victor Hugo, author of Hunchback of Notre Dame. And I just read in this book, I don't know what book, but apparently Victor Hugo was like going out doing his thing every, like, not like partying, but like, you know, going out socializing, not working on his book. And then apparently like 2 or 3 weeks before he needed a draft due, he just locked himself in his room and wrote The Hunchback of Notre Dame. So why that's relevant here, I really couldn't tell you, but Les Miserables by Victor Hugo. And this was given to me by, I'll just say first name, Ashley. Shout out you, motherfucker. I really wanted this book. In fact, let me know in the comments, should I read Les Miserables first or Anna Karenina? Because I don't even know what, I literally don't know what this book is about. Like, prisoner? Falsely imprisoned? Here, let's see. Ex-convict Jean Valjean, 19 brutal years in chains after stealing a loaf of bread. And I'm gonna stop there because I'm already bored. But you know, I'm not gonna lie, this cover could use some work. This cover could, I can't help but think there was a better picture out there. But anyway, I've heard, oh no, the reason I got this actually first and foremost is because Leo Tolstoy, I was looking up his favorite books, because whoever favorite books Leo Tolstoy are, you know that shit goes crazy. And then he gave a little symbol next to each saying like big impact, very big impact, or like excellent impact. Some, you know what I mean? And like this one I'm pretty sure got the highest thing by Tolstoy. So I'm like, shit. So, and I just hear good things, and it's like a play or a musical. Wow, this is thick though. Wow, it's, once you start leafing through. Okay, well, it's well over 1,300 pages. So that's a factor, but let me know in the comments, Les Miserables or Anna Karenina. Okay, so that was sent by Big Nate Listener. Thank you, shout out to you. All the rest of these are coming from, I just went to Powell's. I just went to Portland with some of the homies. We went to an art museum. We got lunch, and then we went to Powell's. And I told myself, no books, but if you do, you know, if you do have to take it there, 1 book maximum. And I left with fucking 4. I think I left with the most books than anybody, which is a crying shame. Except all of these, unfortunately, were non-negotiable take-homes, so you know I had to. Okay, so what were these non-negotiable take-homes? Well, let's get right into it. First up next is Rumi. Selected poems. Rumi is a poet, I believe, a 13th century Persian philosopher, mystic, scholar, and founder of the Order of the Whirling Dervishes. Well, anyway, I was just flipping through this. In fact, the homie Dom he said Rumi was good, so I'm like, let me see what's good. And I read a couple poems by him, and they were in fact good. And then I was leafing through this, and I'm just like, dang, this is crazy. So yeah, I had to cop Rumi. And so I do think this translation by Coleman Barks, this is what's unfortunate, is translations do matter. So I believe Rumi, and this would make sense, but I think he was like Muslim. And so, but like, even just from what I've been reading, I think they like what you would call Anglophile it, where it's like, instead of naming the like Muslim figures, they name, like what I read was like Christian figures, like down to the apostles, you know. So it's like, wait, what's even so I don't know, that's unfortunate, but I don't know, I'm gonna have to look more into that too. I don't quite know how deep that goes. But anyway, because I also read this thing that said Rumi translations just go with what you're feeling. And what I went to the couple that I looked at, I was like, okay, I'm feeling this. So, and I'm interested that it's animals, because again, we talked about how the penguin covers indicate what the main theme is, but it's animals. That could mean a number of different things. But okay, so I'm excited for Rumi. This is poetry I like, people, because you guys know full well that I don't really like poetry. I think it's like modern poetry, low-key, because when you read this shit, it's like, whoa, When I'm reading Emily Dickinson, I'm like, whoa. So I don't know. Let me know if there's like good, based off what I just said. Let me know if there's good poetry I should be reading. Okay, for those that waited from the earlier illusion, we have a book of mythology I purchased, the Essential African Mythology. Whoa. The Essential African Mythology. So in my mythology viewings, like just looking for books, there's some that are very textbooky, which in other words is to say that it's very boring. And then there's books like this, which basically like actually tell you the myths. And I have a couple of like, both of these books do a similar thing, Native American myths. And I'm pretty sure I haven't read the introduction, but like I've mentioned before, these are often too, but particularly at least the Native Americans, they never even wrote that shit down. So it's because I'm trying to read like the primary texts of mythology, and it's like I don't really know. For instance, with Native American mythology, where would I like? What is the primary? There is no primary. There is no writing at all. It's all completely oral tradition. Which again, here I am talking about Walter Benjamin, which is talking about the original aspect and form of story. It was like that kind of thing. Where again, done in a communal setting, very ritualistic, and then now we have it like he said. It falls flat on the page. It falls flat on the page, like they say in the introduction. So, but I didn't read the introduction for the African mythology yet. But anyway, also yeah, the point being there, like those books, they like tell you the story, which and again, it's like a page or two. And they have like creation stories, the creation of evil, the creation of humans, creation of animals, all that good stuff. Everything and more in which myths contain. But yeah, I got African mythology because I have a few gaps. Right now, honestly, all I have is Greek, Roman. I've read a little bit of the Nordic. I do have the Native Americans. And then, yeah, I think that's like all. I feel like there was another couple, one or two, but I'm trying to read the world, bro. So African mythology, I need Indian mythology. I read the Upanishads, I don't know if that counts, but I also need Japanese, Chinese, and motherfucking let me know in the comments what else I need that has a rich mythological tradition. Thank you, please, and thank you. So, but anyway, I read a couple of those. I skipped the introduction because like I said, that was like, I wasn't ready. I wasn't trying to do all that. Because like dude, when you smoke and read myths, that shit's pretty crazy. For the people that sometimes ask, I never smoke and read for real. It would only have to be fun stuff. Like I said, like myths or poetry. Okay, next we have The Inner Reaches of Outer Space. This one's kind of a strange one, huh? What does he get that for? So, like I said, I've been on my myth kick, and Joseph Campbell is the author of The Power of Myth, which was for me genuinely a life-changing book, at least just in terms of like my writing interests. Like all my writing right now is focused. It's actually kind of crazy. It's all focused around like, I'm just gonna say myth and similar structures in myth that are similar in both science and mathematics. But the point being that I never would have thought about any of that if I didn't come across that. I can like, because someone's like, how'd you get inspired to do this? It's like, oh, I don't know, like a bunch of like different little facts. I can definitively trace my interest in mythology to Joseph. Anyway, this motherfucker is good. And he's mentioned in this Jung book I'm reading right now, Carl Jung, who I'm like really into right now. And they like worked with I won't even go down that road. But point is, I'm very big into Joseph Campbell right now. So and look, it says The Inner Reaches of Outer Space, and it's all about mythology and then outer space, like cosmological, like literally, I don't know, these are like the two big themes I'm writing about right now, like the natural world in relation to myth. And you're telling me Joseph Campbell wrote a book called The Inner Reaches of Outer Space, metaphor as myth and as religion, then you can bet your bottom dollar I'm walking out of the bookstore with that book. So okay, last but not least is, hold on, let me spark this, but it is Kabbalah, or Kabbalah, I believe it is, which is just like a book. It's very, look, I hate to say it, but like it's very much like the Power of Myth book, which is very cool because it's like in terms of just like the way it's, I won't lift it up, but in terms of like the format, and it's got pictures and big text, and so it's like that, but on the Kabbalah, and the Kabbalah is Jewish mysticism. And if you were on our podcast for the freaking nth time, I'm gonna say it is you would know by now that when you listen to the Aleph episode, which I did re-upload with the correct audio, that was my bad, then you will know that I'm very interested in the Kabbalah just as an idea. I'm trying to like lose my mind. I'm trying to go insane. And I just watched this movie Pi too, which is like very related to Jewish mysticism. Was like a particularly crazy one. I'm not even gonna lie, but that wraps it up. Those are just some books I've copped over the last few weeks in different cities. Look at me. But thank you for watching. Get to my Instagram, of course, Big Nate's Book Reviews. Get to my podcast, Big Nate Short Story Club. Follow me on GOODREADS, link in the description. Thank you for watching Big Nate's Book Reviews, home of the best book reviews.